The storm has passed. All that remains is the sound of water dripping from the leaves and the distant, fading rumble of thunder. Day 5 begins not with a sunrise, but with silence. Buried beneath a blanket of wet leaves and the wreckage of what was once a shelter, a figure stirs. He rises slowly, his bare feet sinking into the soft, cold mud. His eyes, heavy with exhaustion, scan the devastation. The primitive home he built with his own hands is gone, returned to the earth it came from. A close-up reveals his hands, trembling not just from the cold, but from the raw shock of survival. Each breath is a cloud of white in the crisp morning air. The ashes of his fire pit, a symbol of warmth and safety, are now just a grey paste mixed with rainwater. He is alone, exposed back at the very beginning. But the will to live is a stubborn flame. He begins to sift through the debris, a slow and methodical search for anything that can be salvaged. His fingers comb through the mud and splintered wood. He finds a few broken stone tools, a handful of scattered branches that might still hold some dryness within, and, miraculously, a small pocket of embers protected by a fallen log. Hope, it seems, is not entirely extinguished. He kneels in the mud, taking 2 stones in his hands. He strikes them together again and again, a desperate, rhythmic prayer. Sparks fly, dancing for a moment before dying in the damp air. He doesn't stop. He focuses on a small tuft of dried grass he carefully prepared, shielding it with his body. Another strike, and a spark catches. He blows gently, coaxing the tiny orange glow into a fragile flame. The fire flickers, a weak but defiant pulse of life against the vast, damp wilderness. He huddles close, letting the warmth seep into his chilled skin. He pulls a tattered animal hide from the wreckage, wrapping it around his shoulders as steam begins to rise from his body. The forest watches him, its ancient stillness a silent observer. The birds have not yet begun their morning song. It's as if all of nature is holding its breath, waiting to see what this lone creature will do next. He is a part of this landscape now, stripped of all but his most basic instincts. The fire grows stronger, a beacon of human resilience in the heart of the wild. Survival really means constantly dealing with hunger, right? Now that he's managed to escape the cold, his body is screaming for food. He hears a stream nearby, its water all muddy from the storm. The same flood that wrecked his home has also given him a chance. In the shallow pools between the rocks, small fish are stuck, darting around like they're in a panic. He moves in like a pro, slow and steady. With a quick dip, he plunges his hands into the icy water, and in one smooth motion, he snags a wriggling fish. He does it again, grabbing just enough to ease that gnawing hunger in his belly. Back at his makeshift camp, the fire is crackling away, feeling more alive now. He sharpens a stick with a stone and carefully spears his catch, roasting it over the flames. Smoke swirls up, mingling with the morning mist as he flips the fish, eats quietly. No fancy rituals or big celebrations, just the raw need to refuel. Each bite is a reminder of his strength, a small win against everything trying to bring him down. With his core temperature stabilized and his hunger abated, his focus shifts to the most critical task: rebuilding. He cannot survive another night exposed. This time, he learns from the storm. He moves to higher ground, a small clearing less susceptible to flooding. He selects a sturdy stone and begins to work, striking it against a thick stalk of bamboo. The process is slow and laborious, but each sharp crack echoes with purpose. He is a small figure dwarfed by the immense ancient trees, yet his actions are filled with an unyielding resolve. He gathers what he can, weaving flexible vines and large leaves into a makeshift roof. He stacks fallen branches, creating a rough but functional wall against the wind. Sweat mixes with mud on his skin, a testament to the hard language of rebirth. The air is thick with the scent of wet earth and crushed vegetation, the rhythm of life slowly returning to the jungle. This new shelter is not a home. It is a fortress, born from the memory of failure and the necessity of survival. As the first rays of sunlight finally pierce through the dense canopy, his work is done. The new shelter, though humble, stands firm. The fire burns cleanly, a steady column of smoke rising into the clearing sky. He sits at the entrance, his back straight, and gazes out at the world being painted in hues of gold and orange. He places a hand on the damp soil, feeling the pulse of the earth beneath him. His eyes are steady, no longer filled with the shock of loss, but with the quiet clarity of purpose. He has faced the wrath of nature and has not been broken. He has been stripped down to his essence and has found the strength to begin again. The camera pulls back, rising slowly to reveal the vast, steaming jungle bathed in the glorious light of a new day. He is a part of it all, a man reborn from ruin, a living reminder of what it means to endure.